Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm getting a late start. Okay, so here was our classwork that we did today, talking about dividing decimals by a whole number. Okay, so again, we did this one on paper, right? And we cut up our little pieces of paper. And then we talked about this. And then number one, we also did today, and I broke this down. Okay, so we're solving each of these problems using models as well as doing the division mathematically. So I'm going to do number two as promised, and then you guys will have 3, 4, and 5 to do. Okay, so our whole number in decimal is 5 and 34 hundredths. Oops, I use this paper. I already have my little pictures here to represent what everything means. So the boxes, when we draw them, they represent a whole number one. When we draw a single line, like a stick, I call that, that is equal to 1/10. And then when we draw a filled in circle, that represents 1/100th, right? Okay, so we are first going to do this mathematically. So the two steps we talked about, right, is setting this up using the house, right? So here's my house with my roof, and I'm dividing 5 and 34 hundredths, and I'm dividing it by 2, right? So even if I say this, this helps me figure out what number goes where. 5 and 34 hundredths divided by 2. So there's my divisor. Okay, step number one, which is in your math notebook, we said step number one was literally moving your decimal point just on top of the roof, right? Done. Now, step two is solve the division problem using the regular algorithm, right? And we remember this by saying, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Which reminds me, we divide, then we multiply, then we subtract, we check, and then we bring down, right? And you can always do this on your assessments too. If you're still one to sort of forget your steps in your long division, you can always do that. Okay, so 2, and again, when we do our long division, these problems are on the easier side. So if we cover up all of these numbers in the house, we're going to talk to ourselves. Does 2 go into 5? Well, 5 is bigger than 2, so I don't have to move over another number. So 2 goes into 5 2 times. Okay, and then I do my next step, which is multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. And then my next step is subtract. Now I check, is 1 smaller than 2? Yes, I'm good there. Now I bring down my next number, which is the 3. I go back to the top, back to dividing. How many times does 2 go into 13? Right? 6 times. Now I multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract. Check. 1 is smaller than 2. I bring down my last number. Okay, how many times does 2 go into 14? 7 times, right? Multiply. 7 times 2 is 14. I have no remainder. I have nothing else to bring down. So my answer is going to be 2 and 67 hundredths, tenths, hundredths. Now, your assignment is to box your answer. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Now, I want you to also do this visually, right, using a visual representation, and this will help you with mental math and understanding the concept, okay? So 5 whole, which means I'm going to draw 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole. Okay, and I'm going to color code this so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. 5 whole means 5 boxes. All right, I have 3 tenths, right? Okay, how do I draw that? My 3 sticks. 1, 2, 3. And now I have my hundredths. I have 4 hundredths, right? That's my dot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll represent that using pink. Okay, so I have a visual representation. Now, here's what I have. 5 and 34 hundredths. I'm dividing it into 2 groups, right? Dividing into 2. So I'm making 2 groups. 1 group, 2 groups. Now I'm taking these and I'm dividing them equally, right? We always can think about money here, right? How would I divide $5? Okay, so I'm going to start dividing. This one box goes in here, right? And then I'm going to put one in here. I'm dividing them equally. I have 3 wholes remaining. I can put another one in here. And I can also put another one in here so that it's the same because I'm dividing them equally. So I have 2 and 2. I have 1 whole left. I cannot divide 1 whole and split it between 2 groups without breaking this apart. Okay, I'm going to break it apart. What's the next way to break it apart? Turning it into tenths. So I'm going to cross out my last whole and I'm going to add in 10 tenths because 10 tenths make 1 whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me kind of draw a line here. Okay, so I have 10 tenths. Great. Okay, so that is gone, and this is what I have remaining. Okay, so now I'm going to divide. I should count all these up. I know I just drew 10 of these, right? So I have 10 tenths. I have 11, 12. I have 13 tenths. Do mental math. 13 divided by 2, what does that equal? It doesn't go in equally, right? I can divide them 2 into 13 6 times. If you're not good with mental math, you can just start separating them one at a time if you'd like. But I would love for you to be able to try to attempt to do some mental math here. Goes in 6 times. That means I can put 6 tenths here, and I could put 6 tenths here, and I am going to have a remainder because 6 times 2 is 12. I'm going to have 1 left over. Okay, so I'm going to color code this again. So this group, I'm going to call my yellow group, right? And this will be my orange group. Okay, all right, so I have my tenths. So let's cross these out as we go. If I have 13, I'm putting 6 into this group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And I'm going to put another 6 into this group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I have 1 tenth remaining. Again, I can't split this between 2. I can't divide it into 2. I have to break this apart into little pieces, which means breaking it up into hundredths. Okay, so I'm going to cross off this tenth, and I'm going to make 10 more dots because this is 4 represents this 4. Okay, so I'm going to cross this out, and I'm going to add 10 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hundredths now. Okay, 14. I need to divide it into 2 groups. So 14 divided by 2 is 7 exactly. I'm going to just double check that. So I'm going to cross these off as I go. I'll just highlight them. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to move them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, my other 7, I'm going to put into this group, my orange group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I have used everything. Okay, let's double check. My answer was 2 and 67 hundredths. Let's see if we have 2 in each group. 1, 2. There's my whole number 2. 6 tenths. Do I have 6 tenths in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do I have 7 hundredths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So that all works. I've shown it using pictures, and then I've done it mathematically. Okay. All right, there you go, guys. So you guys are going to work on 3, 4, and 5. And again, you're dividing into larger groups. You're dividing by 4 groups here, and you're dividing by 5 groups here. Just make sure you break down, right, any decimals or that you cannot split between those number of groups. All right, guys, work hard, right? Struggle's okay. That means we're learning, but I know you guys can do this if you put your mind to it. You only have 3 problems to do, okay? All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.